This week's best MMA bets, we're talking UFC Macau. I'm going to give you guys my lock of the week, most confident picks. We'll talk my favorite underdogs, Degen Props of the night, and then finish it out with the parlays. So make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure you share the video too. Last week disappointed me. Now, the safer plays were pretty on point with some of the parlays coming through at the end, but Degen savage calls off the target, which makes me upset, but you can't expect to hit plus 1,000 or more every week. What made me very sad was seeing Johanata Janiz, who was part of the Dog Lock City play, absolutely fumble the bag. He drops Tybura in the opening seconds of the fight and decides to follow the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt to the ground. That's a horrible idea. I don't understand it. The fight IQ was really bad. Janiz is not going to be able to grapple at the level of a Tybura with, minimal MMA experience. He's got decent enough defensive jiu-jitsu to survive. I mean, he, got stopped after round 2 by the doctor, but he was getting his ass whooped. Regardless of how it all went down, what made me very upset was the fact that it didn't happen. The W didn't come. Oliveira pulled through, which was great, but we lose the big plus money with Janiz taking an L. But it's okay, because you know what? Have to dust myself off, clean up the beard a little bit, and bring a little inner Tom Aspinall out so I can get some championship parlays this week and bring some W's. And I am going to continue this, the parlay lock of the week. I'm bringing something special this week. Let's jump into it. Without further ado, the lock of the week. Carlos Ulberg and the over 2.5 in Yan Xiaonan versus Tabitha Ricci. This came to me as a perfect lock. I had a dream about this, actually. Now, I'm pushing it a little bit. I thought of it today. I said, wow, I'm confident in this. I'm confident in that. Let's put them together. I was ready to chalky lock Ulberg. I was really close to doing that this week. But I'm like, man, I don't want to do the chalky lock for UFC Macau. I'm getting up at 3 in the morning to watch fights and stream, and I'm going to have a minus 235 lock? No. The odds for the parlay to come through, minus 130. Pretty good. Near even money. I'll take it. And I think the probability is high. I really view Carlos Ulberg as a special talent, and with a win, he's amongst the elite in light heavyweight. Now, it's a game test for him. Volkan Oezdemir is a powerful savage, but I like Ulberg's striking. I like the ability to move, strike from distance, the knockout power, and I'm sure the takedown defense holds up with Volkan Oezdemir level wrestling. I think Ulberg is good to go. I think he's a golden goose this week, so I think he's great. As far as a confident pick goes, it's a chalky line, and that's why I'm not chalky locking it. Instead, I'm like, you know what? Let me add a second leg to this lock of the week. We're going the over 2.5 with the ladies. I think Tabitha Ricci and Yan Xiaonan are going distance. I'll be hard-pressed to see either one of them get a finish. Ricci in great shape and durable. Yan Xiaonan very hard to finish, and also great shape, very strong. It doesn't matter who wins as long as it goes long. I think the fight is going to be relatively competitive. I think Yan Xiaonan has the striking edge, but don't be overconfident in her power. If you're thinking, oh, she's going to chin her. She knocked out Andrade. Andrade sprinted at her like this, letting her just crack her in the face. Andrade was mentally out of fighting at that time. Like, let's not forget, she was going through like a divorce. She was on, I don't know, a bit of a fall off, and she's turned up since then. But the Andrade that she chinned, I don't want to say through the fight, but like she gave it to her. Let's not forget Yan Xiaonan went to a close decision. She lost it, but it was a robbery with Marina Rodriguez. I don't think Yan Xiaonan is dusting Tabitha Ricci. If she's to win, okay, respect. I'm actually picking Tabitha Ricci, but that's not a part of the parlay. The parlay is it going over 2.5. My highest level of confidence is on this over 2.5 line alongside of it. So let's go Carlos Ulberg. Let's go Tabitha Ricci. Let's bring the two together as I keep adjusting my hat because I want it to look sick to close it out. Carlos Ulberg, Tabitha Ricci, and Yan Xiaonan's over 2.5 at minus 131, keeping the savagery coming. We're going parlay lock of the week once again because I don't want to do a chalky locky for UFC Macau. Too hype. Too hype. And I feel confident that this is going to come to fruition, putting some confident picks together and getting near even money. I like the sound of it. I think you guys will too. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking of this lock. I want to hear from the people, but we're not done. We got a lot to talk about, okay? We're jumping up to most confident picks. I'll bring them up on the screen, and we'll go, one by one and break things down a little bit more in depth. So you see on the screen first, Kong Wang. Wang gang for the W. I can't wait. Mike Finch himself said he likes Wang a lot on Moneyline the other day. Minus 800 is a damn wide line. You can't Moneyline it unless, listen, if you're that type of guy, up to you. But I think it becomes a signature piece in a longer shot parlay because you really can't do much, in like a two-fighter play with it. It won't help you. But I'll tell you this. Though Gabriela Fernandez is a powerful striker, she is a little over-aggressive. She is a little bit flawed defensively. And I think she's hittable. When you have a high-caliber kickboxer and a woman that punches like a man, Kong Wang has some death touch power. There is a real possibility that Kong Wang knocks Gabriela Fernandez out as Fernandez is overthrowing shots. She does have a tendency to overthrow wide punches, and when you have high-caliber striking, you'll see a more precise punch find the target. The straightest shots get there faster. And I think Wang could land a straight one. So we're going Wang by KO. The line for that is plus 250. Not bad. Plus 250 is actually kind of good for that. Interesting that it's anticipated to go into the later stages with the over 2.5 at minus 165. But I really think Kong Wang is live for a counter shot KO. Gabriela Fernandez is a dangerous striker. Last fight, though, she's going to split decision with Carly Judice. And being a dangerous striker doesn't mean you're taking out a savage striker. Kong Wang seems to be a top 7 fighter. I think she has the potential to mix it up with some of the best women at 125 as long as takedown defense holds up. Thankfully, Gabriela Fernandez is really not a high-caliber grappler. Both of her UFC losses to Teresa Bleda and Jazz Davisia, she got out-wrestled in those fights. And I don't think her offensive wrestling in this fight is going to be a substantial threat to Kong Wang. She's forced to strike with a high-caliber kickboxer who also has a win over Shevchenko in kickboxing. Kong Wang for the W. Minus 800 sucks, but confidence is through the roof. Next up. Ming Yang Zhang. I don't know how you're not hype on Ming Yang Zhang. He's a powerful light heavyweight who's in his mid-20s. His style is super entertaining. I don't know about championship potential. I don't really care because I know we're getting highlight reel this Saturday. I think that he's going to chin a tough, but I don't know, a little bit hittable Ozzy Diaz. Diaz got badly knocked out by Joe Pyfer a couple fights ago on Contender Series, like flatline starched. And I think Zhang's got the power to chin him as well. He's racked off 2 wins since then. One of them against ex-UFC fighter Bevan Lewis, who's still losing fights on the regional scene, to be honest with you. And Lewis is more of a grappling style pressure. Ozzy Diaz likes to strike. Ming Yang Zhang likes to strike. Power for power. We got Zhang, the one-punch KO artist, and we have Ozzy Diaz, who is a guy that more overwhelms you with pressure over time and then stops you. I think Ming Yang Zhang is going to knock him out in the pocket. He KO'd Brenderson Ribeiro, and I think that's actually turned into a really nice win. Ribeiro went distance with Magomed Gadzhiesulov, and then he just beat Kyle Machado. So I would say chinning him in the fashion that he did is pretty damn impressive. He also chinned Tuco Tucos back when Tucos had hype on him on Road to UFC. At minus 280, he's a wide line, but deservingly so. Ozzy Diaz, he was fighting at middleweight as well a couple fights ago. Now moving up to light heavyweight. He's a tall guy, but I don't think he packs a big punch. He's going to be 2 inches taller than Zhang at 6'4 to 6'2. But if he mixes it up with Zhang, which he's going to, he's probably getting starched. Zhang's a young savage. Minus 130 for the KO. I'm anticipating this fight ends inside of the distance. Definitely a high likelihood of under 2.5. That knockout call is making a lot of sense to me at minus 130. I think Ming Yang Zhang, violent KO, confident pick, something you can parlay, and also just something that if you're a fan, you're excited for. And I think Ming Yang Zhang is going to have a highlight reel incoming. So let's keep running. Next up, ladies going after it for some Road to UFC gold. I guess not gold, but they're getting a trophy, all right? You got Xiaocan Feng. I want to make sure I say it right. Xiaocan Feng. Xiaocan Feng for the W. Xiaocan Feng got to beat Ming Shi. Trust me. I think that Xiaocan Feng at minus, 340, even though it's a wide line, is because she's a really tall girl for women's MMA. She has good boxing. She's slick, too. She puts her hands down and strikes from the outside. I don't know, the way she moves is more like some of the men that strike well. She's got that slickness, kind of like Randy Brown-esque, which is an awkward comparison, but like in the way that she's throwing shots with hands low from the outside, you can kind of see it. I feel as though she has true promise as far as women's MMA goes. Whereas, like, to be honest with you, I think Ming is mid. I do. I think Ming is mid. I don't know. Ming style doesn't really impress me. I mean, she's kind of well-rounded. She got a split decision last fight against Dong on that road to UFC semifinal. I know that, Xiaocan Feng was locked in a ghillie at the end of her last fight, but she was whooping that girl's ass up until it. And I just don't think Ming is going to beat her. I think Xiaocan Feng for the W. She has potential to knock her out. I do think she has the striking where she could do damage. The KO for Xiaocan Feng is pretty damn wide at plus 450. Decision is definitely a more likely outcome. It's women's MMA, bro, at minus 185. But there's a chance that Xiaocan can put some combinations together. I think she does have the striking prowess to get a KO based on precision. It's not like she's hitting like Jessica Andrade in her prime type power, but it's precise shots that land straight at the target and they can do serious damage. Let's keep running. We got Xiaocan there. We got Petr Yan at the top. I like Petr. I like Petr Yan to win. Listen, his losses are to Merab, Sean O'Malley, and Aljo. Okay? All champions. All of them. And the Aljo one was a split decision, and the first time they fought, I mean, let's be honest, when the illegal knee happened, thank God for Aljo's sake, because Yan was beating his ass. Yeah, he hasn't necessarily looked amazing, right? Even against, Song Yadong last time, he looked good. He didn't look great like we've seen in the past, but I think it's injury-based, right? Going in there and struggling a bit with the knee. And I'll tell you this, I think that Petr Yan's fight against O'Malley, at the time, I'd never want to admit this, but now, a year or two removed, I do think that Yan probably should have won that fight, right? I was on the O'Malley bandwagon. I picked him there. I got the pick right. I had to defend my side. And looking back now and rewatching that fight recently, I said, man, I can see them giving that shit to Peter. And I got to tell you, Petr Yan, as I'm calling him Petr Yan, losing to Merab, it means nothing to me in this matchup, right? Deiveson Figueiredo doesn't have a Merab pressure style nor a Merab gas tank. Deiveson Figueiredo, people are now anticipating his cardio is going to look better. I think he was looking a bit slower in round 3 with Marlon Vera, and you'll say, oh, but he still was good after round 3. Well, Marlon Vera fights at a very calculated pace. Not that Petr Yan fights like a Merab pressure fighter. He picks his shots well. But I do anticipate that Yan is going to be able to come on stronger and steal the later rounds in this fight. And the official pick is Yan by decision. I think his wrestling is actually a tool that he can use come rounds 3, 4, and 5. In the first 2, I'd say Deiveson Figueiredo might even threaten with takedown attempts. I'd assume Yan will have the get-up ability. I also think that Figueiredo is going to look to take a page of Aljo's book and take the back of Petr Yan and lock in the body triangle, but a lot easier said than done. Petr Yan's going to be bigger than Deiveson Figueiredo as well, a little bit taller, and I feel like Yan, normally you think of him as pretty short, but he should be a tad bit larger than Figgy, the former flyweight champ. He's younger. I think he's faster. I think his gas tank is better. Yeah, Figueiredo, punch for punch, maybe a bit more power, but he's not knocking anybody out at 135. Like, there's this narrative that Deiveson Figueiredo is the death touch. I know he, flash knocked down Marlon Vera in round 3, but Vera recovered right away. It wasn't a KO. He put him down for a second, and then he got right back up and went the distance. And if that fight was 5 rounds, who knows? I'm not trying to cope, though. I'm not trying to cope. I'm just saying. I'm just using some reasoning behind the Petr Yan pick. I think that the striking matches up well. I think the grappling matches up really well. And the gas tank is way better on Yan's side. At least it's proven to be better. I think Figueiredo is good in the first 2. It's competitive. 3, 4, 5, Yan can take over. Even potentially a late finish from Petr Yan. I'm going Yan for the win. I see him beating Deiveson Figueiredo and getting back in the mix. I don't think he's washed. I don't think he's out of the title conversation. I think Deiveson Figueiredo has great wins at bantamweight, but the perfect matchups. Cody No Love, who, is not in his prime. And Cody No Love touched him on the feet a bit in their fight, to be fair. Rob Font, who he had a big advantage overall in, but, physicality edge for sure. And then last time out, taking out Marlon Chito Vera, it was a clean W. He's better than him everywhere. He hits harder, a little bit more precise, and I think it was like a very favorable style matchup looking back, hindsight 2020, because Vera likes to point fight, and Figueiredo's real good at that. Jan will make it more of a dogfight. It'll be point fighting at moments, but he can point fight too. He's quick, man. I think Petr Yan's striking is clean. Don't write him off yet. Petr Yan for the win. I anticipate he pulls through. It's probably either a decision or a late knockout. The KO is around plus 200 with the decision for Yan sitting around plus 125. If you want to be like a sicko, you can go Yan to win in rounds 4, plus 1,000, round 5, plus 1,600. There's a chance. There's a chance for both. But, you're chasing. Jan, he's a chalky favorite, minus 300. So becomes something you got to lock in the parlays. I understand people like, Davison, though, at plus 250, maybe he's the value side. I don't think this week. I think Petr Yan should win this fight. I think Petr Yan's going to pick his shots well. I still think he's absolutely in his prime, maybe even better than ever before. And it's easy to overlook him because of a few losses. But the name value of those losses, to me, does not hold the weight of saying, Figgy is taking him out. Not happening. Petr Yan for the win in that main event. A little extra main event deep dive for you guys. I was ranting on that one. I do want to talk a little bit about some of my favorite underdogs on the card. I have several dogs on this card that I picked, but, proceed with caution with some of these dogs because I do feel as a couple of them are lower confidence picks as well as lower level fights. Now, Quang Lee at plus 122, I like. I am a Quang Lee fan. I like his style. I like his striking over Long Xiao. And at plus 122, I think that Lee is definitely very live to pull off a hard-fought win. And I'm also a Quang Lee fan, as you should be too. He's got a cool vibe, and his striking skills are good. And he's won as an underdog a lot outside of the UFC as well. So something worth noting. On the other side, Tabitha Ricci, right? Plus 165. I'm thinking she could eke out a competitive decision. I know that people are picking Yan Xiaonan, but Xiaonan has struggled with good grapplers, and Ricci's high caliber in the grappling. I don't think you can overlook that. Plus 165 for her in the co-main event, and I obviously love that over 2.5. That's why it's part of the lock. Kenan Song, simply he's not in his 40s. His hands are pretty quick. He could definitely win a close fight with Salikov. I think at plus 150 he's live. And then Jella Issa Balgin over Sung Yoon Yu. I would honestly probably stay away as of right now. We'll see at the face-offs. Maybe it changes me, but I just feel like, I don't want to bet on a dog that I'm not super confident in on, road to UFC finales, but I might change my mind come weigh-in day. We'll see on that. But those are 4 dogs that I like a lot. And one last thing I want to add with Lee is in his debut, he took a round over Chris Gutierrez on very short notice, and he looked like he belonged. Long Xiao, I know he fought Chang Ho Lee to a split decision and whatnot, but he hasn't fought a high-level guy like that. Say what you want about Chris Gutierrez lacking heart. I agree. But Quang Lee on short notice, giving him a good fight, I think that's pretty damn impressive. And I think Quang Lee's going to win. I guess Quang Lee, in my heart of hearts, is the favorite of all the favorite underdogs. So there it is. Underdog section. Let's keep running. I just want to quickly touch on the props this week. We talked about so many fights already that I feel as though maybe the prop section is not as lit. Obviously, the over 2.5 in the damn lock, right? With Ricci and Yan Xiaonan going over 2.5. Yeah, that one would be in here. It's a reiteration. I'm also thinking that fight ends inside distance for Mahashate and Motta at minus 250. I think somebody's getting finished in that fight. I'd be pretty surprised to see either one of those two end up going all the way to the very end. I think there's a good chance that it ends early. I really do. I think that's one of those matchups that ends super quick. I like the chances, man. I like the chances. Now, one more, and this is a lower confidence one. I'm picking Leonard Kavanagh over Jose Ochoa, but I have been hyping Ochoa up a bit because he's talented. Over 1.5 is not crazy at minus 210. At minus 210, though, it's, not great odds, but, does Kavanagh chin Ochoa under a round and a half? I know he just knocked out Antoine Ho violently, and I like Antoine Ho striking a lot, but I like Ochoa striking a lot too. Kavanagh's a different beast. Kavanagh's a good pick. I'll be honest with you, I was close to putting Kavanagh in the most confident picks, but I just didn't yet. I don't know. I think still hard matchup for some reason. Ochoa being a shoot the box Diego Lima guy just has me like the slightest bit worried, more so than I'd like. But I still am like going to mention Lawner Kavanagh as an honorable mention for the most confident pick section. All right. Listen, guys, props this week. I'm bringing them in with the damn most confident picks and with the favorite dog. So nothing too crazy to talk about in this section, but there's a lot of chaos that I want to talk about in the next section. We're going to jump to the parlays. Make sure you guys smash the likes. And if you're new, subscribe it up. Let's check out what I'm rocking with. Well, of course, I'm bringing a Lock City parlay as this week's lock because I love doing it. And minus 131 for Lock City with Ulberg and the Ricci Xiaocan over 2.5. It called my name, and I think that it's a great play. Minus 131 Lock City. I'll be surprised if it doesn't hit, actually. Looking down the list, if you're looking for an alternate play, I know some people don't want Ulberg, and you are going to see Ulberg's name a lot because I'm really a big Ulberg guy, and I guess a lot of the damn plays are relying on my guy Ulberg, but it is what it is. I have to do it sometimes. I have to be crazy sometimes. You got to take the risk. Ricci and Jan's over 2.5 with Piotr Jan and Ming Zhang for plus 135. I think that's a pretty safe alternate. Now, if you're like, yo, I want to do a two-fighter play, maybe a different type of vibe. I want to throw Kavanagh in. I believe in him a lot. And you like my Ulberg call, minus 117 for a little alternate action. But, you know, I'm looking down the list and I was feeling good about putting my confident calls in. I like my confident picks a lot this week. And usually when we're hitting the big Degen calls, a lot of the confident picks are coming through as well. So W City play with Ulberg, Ricci, Jan over 2.5 and Ming Zhang at plus 135 gives you the same odds as the safe alternate, essentially another safe alternate play. W City sounds better though. Next up, we got the Wang Gang parlay with Ulberg and then the Ricci Jan over and Ming Zhang and Kong Wang, the one and only, at plus 165. Of course, you got to Wang gang it up, bro. And then Ulberg, Ricci Jan's over, Zhang, Wang, and Feng. Zhang, Wang, Feng. Zhang, Wang, Feng, the big three. Locked in with the lock is plus 244. But because I know some people are scheming, bro. Some people already screenshotted and left. I'm talking to you. If you would already left from screenshotting, what the hell? Honestly, maybe they're already gone. Poof. But the ones that stuck around are the real G's. I wanted to do this live. I think a Zhang, Wang, and Feng parlay is kind of a must this week, just simply because of how fucking immaculate the names line up. Zhang, Wang, and Feng parlay to come through. Let's see what the odds are going to be sitting at. I'm bringing them all together right now. And where is my guy, Ming Zhang, bro? The one I can't find is Ming Yang, the man. The savage himself. There it is. Boom. Minus 106 for the Wang, Fang, Zhang, the whole gang of them. Holy shit. Zhang, Wang, and Feng, Fang, Wang, and Zhang, the big ZWF parlay that rhymes nicely at minus 106 is another safer alternate that I think is probably going to happen. So just one mentioning for the live folks that are watching. Thank you guys for sticking with me the whole time. You guys are gangsters. That's why I'm including special ones for you guys. Let's keep going down. The clean sweep across the board, which I'm going to anticipate here, plus 359 for sweeping confident picks, right? And sweeping the lock. Let's make it happen. Now, if you want to add something cool, right? You're like, yo, Kavanagh, who I said is kind of an honorable mention, plus 481. That's pretty cool, man. Like, like Nick Diaz said about Conor McGregor style. I think it's cool. I think it's cool too. I think it's cool right here. Keep on moving. The kind of Degen call would be if you added a prop of Zhang by KO as opposed to the money line into that same parlay that I have above, plus 671. That's a kind of Degen prop play. Now, for straight Degen action, you put all of the confident picks in the lock together, and then you run it with none other than the man himself, Quang. Okay? Actually, I left out Zhang in that one. Wow, look at that. Did I do Zhang dirty? No, I didn't. Zhang, Wang, Feng, Jan. Okay, we got it. All right. I got nervous for a second. I didn't see it, man. I was looking at the Ricci Jan line, and I was thinking of Zhang Wei Li. I won't lie to you. I'm sorry for mixing them up, man. It's nothing personal. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, Yan Xiaonan. Plus 910. I think it's got a chance to come through. Now, if you want to go for the Degen times 3 ends on there, add in Kavanagh as well for plus 1177. To go Degen again, you go with Song as opposed to adding in Quang. I know some of you guys will probably rather run it up with an OG vet as opposed to somebody in their second UFC fight. And you know what? Fighting a 40-year-old Muslim Salikov, I do think he got a good chance of winning. Now, to go to Degen Savage, all right, plus 2,387. We got Carlos Ulberg, the Ricci on over 2.5, Zhang, Wang, Feng, Yan, Song, and Lee. Quang is Lee, okay? Line them up. We got multiple underdogs. They're the last two legs of dogs, plus 2,387 for the Degen Savage play. That is if you're feeling animalistic. That is if you're feeling like, hey, it's time to throw the hammers down. All right, put some respect on my name. All right, let's make it happen. Now, I want to do a quick live Degen call. I got to just find it, man. Where is the live Degen call? I didn't line it up before. We're doing this on the damn show live, all right? All right, so we're going to pretty much load up exactly what you're seeing there. We're going to go Carlos Ulberg, all right, minus 230. We're going the Ricci and Yan over 2.5 rounds, okay? And then we got Zhang already in the lineup. Beautiful. And then, actually, we go Zhang by KO. That's what I got to change. We're just going Zhang by KO. That's what's missing. Okay, let's do it. Ming Yang Zhang just by KO in the lineup. Ulberg, Kong Wang, Zhang by KO. The over 2.5 rounds in the ladies fight. Now we got to find Xiaocan Feng. I'm like on the hunt for this right now. We're making it happen live, guys. I'm sorry. When we make it happen live, we gotta take our time. We gotta take it slow and steady. Okay? Piotr Yan at the top. Okay? Piotr Yan at the top. Brings us good. Plus 493 now. And then we throw in the underdog early in the night. Quang. Plus 1122 if you just put Quang in with that Degen play, right? But you add KO for Zhang. It jumps it up a little bit. But then you want to add in one more. We got to add in our guy Kenan Song, 2,980. And then we're going to add in Kavanagh to lock it up. Plus 3,886 if you ride with that exact play at the bottom that you see there, but you add in Kavanagh, and instead of Zhang money line, you go Zhang KO. That is the final live Degen call that I just created for you guys. That it's for the people that ain't just screenshotting and bailing. Let's go. Let's make it happen. Thank you guys for watching. This was a W section. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Best MMA Bets. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at this mug. What do you think? Go T-City. Do I look a little Tom Aspinall-like? I've been told I do. I appreciate you guys for watching. Smash the likes on your way out. If you're new, subscribe it up. Keep it locked in on the channel. I'm feeling good, man. My back's feeling a lot better. If you've been tuning into the live streams, I was complaining, but my back was killing me. Back to the daily content flow. Expect a news video, so post notifications, turn them on. I got content dropping every single day. I appreciate you all for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Let me know what you thought in the comments, too, and W in the comments if you got nothing to say. Thanks for watching, guys. Good night. Peace out.